Today we are going to explore one of the greatest mysteries in ancient history. Why did Qin Shi Huang build such a massive underground army? Every year, millions of visitors from around the world travel to China just to stand before this incredible army buried beneath the earth. And almost every documentary, every tour guide tells the same story. Qin Shi Huang created thousands of clay soldiers because he wanted them to serve him after death. When he entered the afterlife, he would take this enormous army with him, continuing to command his soldiers and protecting himself forever in the next world. At first glance, this explanation seems completely reasonable. But what if we have only been told half of the story? Hidden behind this enormous project are several overlooked mysteries and contradictions. And once you discover these clues, you may never see the Terracotta Army the same way again. Today, we are going to uncover the forgotten truth behind one of the history's greatest mysteries. In my previous videos, we explored the mystery surrounding Qin Shi Huang's origin and the hidden strategic purpose behind the Great War. Today, we continue our journey into the largest and most mysterious project of the Qin Empire. But there is one important idea that many people overlook. Throughout the history, ancient rulers built massive monuments for two very different reasons. Some were created for the dead, to prepare for the afterlife, but others were built for the living, display power, send warnings, and influence those who remain on Earth. So here is the question. Could the Terracotta Army also have been a message meant for the living? Let's dig deeper and find out. Long before the Qin Dynasty, human sacrifice was a common practice among Chinese ancient aristocracy. When powerful nobles died, servants, guards, and attendants were sometimes buried alive alongside them, believing they would continue serving their master in the next world. Qin Shi Huang officially ended this brutal tradition. Instead of using real people as sacrifices, he replaced them with clay figures to guard his tomb. And this leads us to the greatest mystery of the Terracotta Army. If these soldiers were created only to protect Qin Shi Huang after death, then why build a complete military force of 8,000 individual warriors? Why include archers, cavalry units, different ranks of officers, and incredibly detailed armor and battlefield equipment? Before Qin Shi Huang, no ruler had ever created anything remotely close to his scale for two. If the purpose was simply protection in the afterlife, a small symbolic guard would have been enough. The enormous size, the incredible craftsmanship, and the realistic military organization all suggest one thing. There was another purpose hidden behind this underground army. When we put all these historical clues together, we can begin to see a much deeper answer. First, we should not completely reject the traditional explanation. Qin Shi Huang truly believed in the existence of an afterlife. These clay warriors were indeed created to protect him beyond death. But belief in the afterlife alone cannot fully explain a project of this unimaginable scale. A construction effort that lasted for decades and required enormous human resources. Remember, Qin Shi Huang had just ended the centuries of chaos and unified China for the first time. But beneath the appearance of the unity, the empire was far from stable. The former kingdoms he conquered still had powerful families, old loyalties, and people who remembered their previous rulers. A newly created empire could not survive through military force alone. For decades, hundreds of thousands of craftsmen and laborers worked to build this underground army, and the news of this massive project spread throughout the entire Qin Empire. Officials, soldiers, workers, and ordinary people all knew what was being created beneath the ground. And that sent a silent but powerful message to anyone who might challenge Qin rule. Even after Qin Shi Huang's death, his military power would continue to exist. This underground army was never only meant for the dead. It was also a form of political intimidation, a way to control and discourage any forces that threatened the newly unified Qin Empire. Of course, many people may disagree with this interpretation. You may argue that ancient emperors were mainly concerned with the spiritual beliefs and the afterlife, not political messaging. But history shows us a simple truth. For ancient rulers, spiritual belief and political power were never completely separate. Leaders often used the traditions, rituals, and beliefs to strengthen their authority. The Terracotta Army carried both meanings at the same time. On one hand, it protected the emperor's soul in the afterlife. On the other hand, it displayed the unstoppable power of the empire to everyone still living under the Qin rule. When we compare the Terracotta Army with the other ancient civilizations, this unique logic becomes even clearer. Roman triumphal archers were built for the living. They celebrated the military victories and reminded the citizens of the strength of the empire. The Egyptian pyramids, on the other hand, were merely created to secure the eternal existence of the pharaoh in the afterlife. But what makes the Terracotta Army extraordinary is that it combined both purposes into one single monument. It connected the world of the living with the imagined world beyond death. And that is what makes it one of the most remarkable achievements of the ancient world. So, let's return to the central question. Why did Qin Shi Huang build the Terracotta Army? The popular explanation is not wrong, but it is incomplete. Yes, this massive underground army was created to accompany and protect the emperor in the afterlife. But the deeper purpose went far beyond that. Qin Shi Huang had unified a divided line, but the future of the empire remained uncertain. The survival of Qin was not only about the emperor's power while he was alive. It was also about making that power continue even after his death. The Terracotta Army was his eternal declaration that the authority of the emperor could never be easily challenged. In simple words, this miracle was built for the afterlife, but it was designed to influence the living. Okay, before watching this video, did you also believe that the Terracotta Army was created only for the afterlife? Do you think ancient royal projects were often a combination of spiritual beliefs and political strategy? Welcome to share your thoughts in the comments below. Okay, China Voice, China Stories. If you enjoy exploring hidden stories from history and discovering truths behind the legends, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Ancient China still holds countless fascinating stories that remain unknown to many people. Let me know in the comments what historical topics you like. I will keep searching through the past and bring more meaningful stories from Chinese history to you. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.